What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Not Quite Mint. I'm Tom.
And I am Rich, and yeah, we are definitely not quite mint.
And today we are running through our key picks for the 3rd of March, 2020. The year is going so quick, guys, so I think we should probably get into this. Shall we, Rich?
Oh yeah, let's get into it. Welcome back, and as always, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. If you are new to our videos, do make sure you hit that subscribe button. Do smash the old like button, as well as the old dingly bell, as we call it, so that we make sure that you don't miss any of our content. As Tom said, we're going to quickly whiz through some notable picks and sort of our top sort of key picks for the 3rd of March. But at the same time, we're going to see if we either disagree or agree. Have we got any matchups, and why have we chosen, obviously, all those books? So do you want to get started this week then, Tom?
Yes, mate. Yeah. So my only notable this week. So I was a bit lacking on the notables this week. My only notable is this absolutely stunning 3rd print of Spider-Man 55. The Patrick Gleason reprint, but it's the blue spider cover, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to have this in my collection, and I've definitely gone for the Virgin cover rather than the trade dress. I mean, it is lovely. I mean, I really like these. Not so keen on the Swamp Thing version, but I think this is really cool because I didn't realize Swamp Thing was anything to do with Spider-Man. But yeah, hey ho, there you go.
Definitely frustrating one, because obviously they brought this out. The first issue surprised me, that because I thought it was going to be massively over ordered, and the value's still holding at about that £15 mark, which is you know what, 3-4 times over cover price, which is obviously mad when it's not actually a key issue. It's just the cover has sold the book. And yeah, I'm the same as you, Tom. I've gone away and obviously started collecting these, but again, they're web heads. That's the whole point. So why you have got a web head being done of Swamp Thing or Man Thing, isn't it? Sorry, it's Man Thing.
Man Thing. Swamp Thing's DC.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's yeah, why they've decided to do that, I just do not know. But yeah, this one, yeah, I do agree. Really good notable to have. It's definitely one I'll be picking up.
Cool. Well, that's it. That's my only notable this week. I've been a bit lax on notables. So
I've got 3 notables. I've got 3 notables, and then I've got sort of like my top three keys, as always. And the notables, they kind of are keys. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't mention them. But for reasons I'll explain, they didn't make it into my top 3. Let's say that. So I'm going to start and probably shock Tom here again. My first note that I want to talk about is the X-Men Demon Days by Peach Momoko. So it is a key. Well, I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's crap. It didn't make my top 3 because I've got a better 3 to pick from.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so this one for me is a notable because I don't necessarily think it's going to introduce any new characters. My understanding of it is obviously it's written and drawn by Peach Momoko, which that is the defining key point for this book for me. I'm really interested to see it. Obviously, there was a preview in last week's comics or a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, King in Black.
I wasn't too sure about it, to be fair. It was a bit, you know, Wolverine as a wolf and things like that. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it was the artwork was lovely, as you'd expect. I'm a fan of Peach Momoko, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm not too sure whether this is gonna work. I think in years to come, I think it will be a talked about book, because it's obviously the first time that Peach has, I think, done Marvel character kind of story writing, but it's her interpretation of the X-Men, and I think it's like tying in obviously her background of sort of like that sort of Far Eastern kind of folklore elements and things like that. So I'm interested to see what it's like. I'm not sure it's going to be my cup of tea, and that's why it didn't hit my my top 3 picks.
Right, well, that's kind of spoiled it for me, because this was my second pick of my top 3. This was number 2 for me, because I like the idea that it's a 5-part limited miniseries written and drawn by Peach Momoko, as Rich said. But it's around the inspiration of Japanese samurai stories, but retold using the X-Men characters. So it's not necessarily her interpretation. They're actually Japanese samurai stories that she's retelling, but using the characters as those characters. So she's using like Juggernaut and Wolverine as a wolf, like Rich said. So I really bought into it, and I read the preview, which was in the back, King Black 4, I think. And I loved it, and I was like, yeah, it almost made my number 1 pick, but it didn't quite. But I'm gutted it didn't make your top 3, mate. But we all have our different strokes for different folks and all that.
I will say the 3rd of March, like I say, I'm not knocking it. I don't think it's going to be crap. It's definitely a book everybody should go out and buy. Everybody should read. But I couldn't put it as one of my top picks because I have serious reservations about how I'm going to accept the story, because I just think it's going to, I don't know. I mean, I'm really surprised, as I say, that because you're a really big X-Men fan. So I understand that, like, it'll be interesting to see this different interpretation, but also I don't know how accurate, because anybody can retell a story that somebody else written and then call themselves Wolverine or Psylocke or Magneto or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But why is that relevant to the X-Men? Do you know? That's where I'm at. And I'm only saying that after I read that preview.
Yeah.
I read that preview and I was like, okay, so why is that Wolverine? Because it's a dog or a wolf in this Japanese folklore story. It didn't connect. It didn't connect.
A spirit guide, as it were. But yes, I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? So if it's like me going and saying, I'm going to do a modern day interpretation of Hansel and Gretel, and I'm going to call Hansel, I don't know, fucking Cyclops, and I'm going to call Gretel Jean Grey. Not that they're brother and sister. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, Wolverine's the big bad wolf. There's like
I'd probably read that.
I'm just a little bit like, so you're telling the same story, but you're just changing the names. Is that original?
Yeah. Sorry. To be fair, I mean, when you pitch it like that, I can see where you're coming from. But look at this amazing cover by Jay Scott Campbell.
And me and you have both bought this, haven't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely, mate. But also on notquitemint.com, we've got this bad boy.
No, you have. I haven't. But,
sorry, I've got this bad boy on Not Quite Mint. Sorry, mate.
But yeah, he's. Or to be fair, it's Kale and Goo, isn't it? This cover, and it is absolutely stunning. It as much as I'm a bit apprehensive about the whole story writing and stuff like that, I do see this being a really kind of like well coveted sort of key book in the future. I almost imagine it'll be almost like as iconic as the Wolverine miniseries and stuff like that. I think it'll be a really well remembered sort of title just for its significance. But and I've bought the Art Germ, I've bought the Campbell ratio, I've bought the Art Germ one, and what was the one in 100 as well? I think, or the one in 200. I bought that one as well. So I do believe that this will be a good book for the future, definitely. So I am kind of excited, but not sure about the series. And obviously, I'll have this off Tom as well. So.
Right,
anyway.
well, then, that spoiled it for me. I mean, I was going to do this in a bit later, but go on then. What's your next notable then, Rich? What you got up next?
You want me to do my next notable? So my next notable, and this is, again, I'm not saying don't go out and buy this book. I'm just like, and I was really bought into this book, really excited about it, and it's Berserker. So it's
way.
Yeah, it hasn't made my top three. It hasn't made my top three. So the reason being is that, again, coming on this show, there's always, for anybody who bothers watching it, however many, like 50, 60 people a week who watch this.
The 10 views we get.
Yeah. For those few people who keep coming back, like the 5 or 6 of our friends who come back, and my mom, and your mom, because your mom always.
My mom always watches.
I have ordered ratios of this. I've ordered a couple of exclusive covers because the artwork on the covers is amazing. So yeah, I've invested in this, but I do have reservations. So I think definitely go out and buy your cover A, which I think is this one, isn't it? Is this the grandpa?
Yeah, cover A, yeah.
You've got the picture up of.
Or this one. Go and buy this one.
Well, that's the 1 in 200 Dan Mora one, isn't it? So no surprise there. Tom has bought this one, probably. But I
can't say yes or no because people that help me with my cash probably watching.
Yeah, but it has caused since they've released it, because it was supposed to come out in October, and again I was really excited for it. And then it was delayed, which was annoying. But then when they've decided it had come out this week, it was then all of a sudden they changed all of the ratios. So they changed the artists on the ratios, as far as I'm aware. They made the ratios different. And then they introduced that like God level 1 in 1,000 that's going to be CGC signed by Keanu Reeves, that's selling for, about £1,500, $2,000 roughly. And what's happened off the back of that is all of the lower ratios and the standard covers have literally just lost all their value. So from a spec point of view, there probably is room in the future to come back to this, but this book has been massively ordered as well. I think, isn't it the biggest ordered Boom Studios book or something like that? Isn't it 600 million? Sorry, 600,000. 600,000.
It's a lot, mate. It's a hell of a lot of book has been ordered for this. It's mental. And unfortunately, like Richard said, that people have ordered this who own comic shops or have a comic shop, and they've ordered it just to get the one in 1,000 signed by Keanu Reeves, and then they're just selling the cover A's and B's for peanuts, which is making the rest of us who are trying to make a bit of money look silly because we're not able to compete with selling it for 50p and a pound. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You can't justify that, but people are doing it. And I agree with what you're saying, Rich. That does kind of taint the book overall. This would have been my number one.
Yeah, and I genuinely think it would have been for me, mate. But yeah, listening to you, because obviously, Tom talks to me about, what's going well with not quite mincing the business side of what Tom's doing. But hearing the stories from Tom and other people who are just in Facebook forums and stuff like that, it's such a disappointing and confusing kind of situation with this, that, like you said, there's people over in America who are already have been, and they shouldn't do it because they've signed contracts and they shouldn't be doing it, but they've been selling the standard covers as low as $1, haven't they? Just to just to clear them, because and that is just like, and that has an effect again of obviously for independent business owners such as Tom.
Yep.
How do they then justify their prices to other people when in actual fact you're like kind of contractually obliged to sell books for a certain value, and you can't discount and stuff, can you? So until after a certain time. So it's really, and that's what I say, that's upset me, that has. So I think that's a real shame. So like that's what I say, in good faith I can't tell people to go out and buy this book, because they could lose their shirt by ordering a lot of expensive stuff that is just going to be dumped in a couple of months' time, So
that's the shame of it. But it was my top pick for the story side of things. So I picked it one because it's about a mortal warrior that works for the US government to try and find out why he's immortal and how long he's been around for, and because they know more about his life than he does. But it's written by Keanu Reeves and somebody else whose name I didn't write down, which is really annoying, and I'm ever so sorry. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And then the artwork is by Alessandro Vito, and he's incredible. So I'm excited for it from an art and story point of view. But as Rich said, the idea of the fact that you can get this for $1 or £1 is a bit tainting on the fact that, normally you'd pay £2-3 for a book. You getting it for £1 is fine. I mean, it's great, but it means in the future there's so many of them, it's not going to be really worth anything. It's not going to be worth your time buying to put away. You might as well wait and get the trade paperback and get the story if you're after the story, in all fairness. But yeah, I'm going to get it because I want the story, and I'm also going to get the Dan Mora one because I love Dan Mora. He's my hero.
Yeah, as I say, obviously I have pre-ordered it, and I will support local, as I say, support your local comic shop. I will buy that because the people that, like I see, there's Galactic that I buy subscription stuff from, and then obviously Tom, who does his exclusive covers and stuff like that. It's like, it's just such a shame to see something that should have been such a big, awesome launch have that element that like just be a little bit tainted with everything else, which is a shame.
Cool.
Right then.
So any more notables you want to crush me with?
So my only other notable, and it's just a little short one because I think it just intrigues me, and it's a book, another independent called Noctera.
Oh mate, you're killing me with picking your notables, mate. They're all my top picks.
Okay, so as I say, I'm not saying that they are not worth buying at all. They just didn't quite make the grade for me. So, does this mean that you've got no top picks other than what we've got? So
yeah, so my top picks would have been this one, then Demon Days, and then Berserker. So once you finish talking about this, I'm going to go and make a cup of tea while you carry on.
Yeah. So this one, Noctera, I mean, it sounds a bit bonkers, if I'm honest. So she's kind of like, it's basically a female hero who, what does she do? Ferry lost souls in her and I'm like, what? So it sounds insane. So I'm really excited to see how this all comes together. But is it top pick worthy for me? Is it? Do you know what I mean? Again, I'm more intrigued, and I think it's one of those ones that could be amazing. The artwork that I've seen so far is very, very good as well. So yeah, that's my notable. Definitely. Is that a Zerdsey one? Is that Nathan Zerdsey? Oh no, David Basulda or something.
Yeah, that's a badger. But yeah, we've got this. I've got this one on notquitemint.com if you want it. Just saying.
Shameless plug. This is the standard cover, I think.
This is the standard cover, yeah. Shameless plug. Always got to have a shameless plug. That's not why it was my third pick. I picked it because I read the synopsis, the solicitation, sorry, and I was like, this basically sounds like Pitch Black with Vin Diesel, but with a lady who's transporting lost souls in her 18-wheeler. It sounds absolutely bonkers. The artwork is done by Tony S. Daniel, who's incredible. The writer is Scott Snyder, who I actually quite liked his Batman run. So I'm excited for reading this because I like the creative team. So this one would have been my third pick in my top 3, but Rich is crushing me by, putting them in his notables. But
ruining the party. So that means we, for the first time ever, we've not had even one matchup. We've had always had at least one matchup, haven't we?
I think the first one we ever did, we didn't have a single matchup.
Oh, we didn't have a single one then.
So this is the second time it's happened. So if you want to vote for me, but my picks are the best, then please leave a comment below. Because I've now got to sit back and listen to Rich talk about 3.
Yeah, so I've got my 3 keys to talk about, which is technically 4 keys, but for the same reason. So I'm just going to play through these guys because there's not no point going into a fantastic amount of detail. But the first of all is we've got a couple of Star Wars books. So we've got first of all Star Wars: The High Republic issue 3. Now this one, at the moment, there's a lot of introductions. As I say, this is the first time that you've had comics introducing characters for the new High Republic, which is being built as the new base for the Star Wars universe. The next sort of group of films is going to be set in this era. So it's anticipated a lot of these characters are going to appear in the films, in cartoons, and so on and so forth. So they're very good from a key perspective. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, hence why this made one of my top picks and not some of the others. With this one, though, and it's exactly the same as the second book that I'm going to mention, is the IDW Adventures line, and that is issue 2 that is going to be there. Now, in both of these, there is going to be first appearances, but they come out obviously on the same day. So in the High Republic issue 3, there's going to be an introduction of a first appearance of another sort of group or organism of bad guys, which is called the Drengir, I do believe. But on top of that, which is why the Adventures issue 2 is on the list, is that both of these may feature the first appearance of another big bad guy who is called Marchion Ro, who's this kind of very intimidating looking character. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's KRS Comics in America. Sadly, sorry, not one of yours, Tom.
No,
they have got I think first cover appearance on an exclusive, and it looks a really, really cool cover. So needless to say, I have ordered that one in. But yeah, that's why these 2 are on the list, because you've got a continuation of this High Republic story, and you've got in those 2 issues at least 2 first appearances as well. So
happy days, mate.
Star Wars fan. Now,
that's a good solid third pick, that, mate.
So yeah, that's my third pick. Now, second pick, I'm so surprised this didn't appear somewhere on one of your lists, mate. So this is Batman issue 106. So why haven't you mentioned this one?
Well, I didn't mention it because it's a cameo appearance, or what I'd read originally, that it was going to be a cameo appearance of a character. So I thought I'd go with a couple of independents rather than my normal picks of Batman, but now I'm regretting it because I really wanted to have a matchup with you.
We're a bit late on Valentine's Day, mate. That was a couple of weeks ago. So
I know, mate. Sorry. Smallest island in the world, mate.
As Tom was saying, this for me, I'm obviously a big Batman fan. I know Tom is as well. And with this one, I'm not sure how massively hyped it will be, but this is potentially not necessarily just going to be one cameo appearance, but it might actually be 2 cameo appearances. So off the back of this issue, we're going to have potentially the cameo appearance of a new character who's going to potentially be this year's Punchline character. Funnily enough, who they are actually going to be calling Miracle Molly. Don't know much about the character, but she's very psychedelic and all the rest of it. So she's going to be in
She looks
cameo.
like a throwback from Tron.
Yeah, very like what is it, neo punk kind of look to her, like all different
cool.
colours. Yeah, so her first appearance, I think, is going to be in Batman 108, I believe, and there's like some really cool covers with her on that are being done as well. But in this one as well, there's also going to be a bit of a backup story that ties into the new Robin sort of standalone title. And in that, there's another character who's being called not Punchline, but Flatline.
Not Punchline, Flatline.
It's
not Punchline. It's not Punchline.
So off the back of that, this is gonna spin that Robin story off the back of this story as well. So kind of an interesting one. Could be quite an interesting story. Looks like Scarecrow might be in it as well. Is that Scarecrow on the cover of this one?
I don't know. It's not Punchline.
It's not.
It could be Flatline.
Definitely, yeah. Not
Scareline.
But they are doing some really cool also for the future issues. Have you seen the Federici sort of like sketch covers?
The sketch covers are really cool, to be fair.
The one in 25s, they're really, really cool. So I'll definitely be trying to pick up because I think they'll be like first cover appearances of Flatline and all the rest of it. So yeah, they're really cool. So that's why I've got this one. And then my first pick, Tom, is another DC title, and it is Infinite Frontier, as you've kindly popped up there. And again, this one for me was a funny one, really. And I just think, again, you've got two first appearances in here. You've got the Teen Titans Academy, sort of like a cameo of their characters and potential first appearances of the new Teen Titans Academy characters before their standalone title begins, obviously post Future State. There's other potential new characters in here as well that are as yet unnamed, but also it's going to give you the first full appearance of Simon Saint, who is the creator of the Magistrate, who obviously set in motion the whole, they're the big bad guys in Dark Detective and the next Batman as well. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, this one almost made my top 3, but then I kind of thought, I'll do something different this week, and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, so for me, it was literally the distinction is that I tried to, because there's a lot of like key notable comics. There's I probably could have talked about another 4 or 5 books this week. So there's a lot of releases. So I tried to stick to actual key like firsts in my top 3, and then that's why my other kind of top picks fell into the notables. But there are other books, and I haven't even really gone into some of like the other indies that are quite interesting this week.
I haven't even scratched the surface.
I haven't even scratched the surface. So yeah, that's me done, and hopefully that's been informative and interesting to you guys. Do make sure that obviously you do obviously hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, as well as the dingly bell, so you don't miss any of our content. And obviously from me, just take care till next time.
Yeah, and please follow us on all the social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is the other one that we're on. We are very active, and please head over to the comic shop. It means a lot to me that you support me, guys. Make sure you hit you're part of the subscribe list, so you get a chance to get any discounts, and you also get put into giveaways and bits and bobs. There is going to be a little video after this just to show you what's coming up on our friend Attention Seeking Geeks show in a couple of weeks' time. He's got something really special going on, so guys, so make sure you head over to his channel and subscribe to him as well. From me, stay safe, stay sexy. See ya.
Listen up, soldiers of YouTube. Ask not what Comic Relief can do for you, but what you can do for Comic Relief. Yes, we need you. This is a call to arm yourself with a device where you can watch YouTube, because on Thursday the 18th of March, 9 p.m. GMT, I will be going live with some very special guests from the comic book YouTube community. And I tell you this, we have it all. We will be announcing the winner of the comic book bundle raffle, where you can win a stack of 30 comic books for just a £2 donation. What? £2? And I could win 30 comic books? Did I stutter? During the show, we will be hosting a number of live auctions where you can get your hands on some amazing donations, from signed books, OMG, to graded books imprisoned by the CGC, and toys. We shall raise money from our living rooms. We shall raise money from our bedrooms. We shall raise money while scrolling on the toilet. And we shall never surrender until we show Comic Relief and Red Nose Day what this army of geeks can do. FYI, I am a pacifist. Anyway, for more information on how to enter the raffle before the event, how to donate before the event or during the event, and exclusive updates on the exciting auctions that will be taking place during the event, head over to my Instagram at Attention Seeking Geek. Click the link in the bio and you will be taken to the Just Giving page where all the information can be found. So, save the date. That's Thursday, March the 18th, 9 p.m. GMT. I love the smell of charity in the morning.